friends, Kiwi Christian here. As I put in the description, I've had a few, or just a couple of comments on my last video on how to stop an atheist in his tracks. And as I talk or speak louder than I type, I thought I'd do a live reply to these people. I haven't read these messages yet. I've glanced at them, so they obviously disagree with me, the atheists. So let's just have a look at what they say, and let's have a look. I'm just bringing it up now. Oh, come on. Right. Go on to the video. How to stop an atheist in his tracks was just one argument. The argument was, my friends, that in order for an atheist to say that there has never been, there is not now, nor will there ever be a God, they would have to be God. They would have to be everywhere at once, at all times, and know everything. Another argument would be that perhaps out of all the information in the entire world, they know half of everything. So could God exist in the half of everything that they don't know about? Yes, God is everywhere, but an atheist cannot find God for the same reason a thief cannot find a policeman. Think about it. So let's have a look at these comments, and so how to stop an atheist with just one argument. Oh, 7 thumbs down, no thumbs up. That's fine. You don't have to agree with everything I say. Okay. Robin Dude. Hello, Robin. I don't know if you're a dude or a dudette or an it. So, that's quite a long one, but that's fine. Let's have a look. First of all, guys, thank you for commenting. I've got no problems with people commenting on my video. It shows that you're watching, that you're listening, and that you're open to hear someone who disagrees with you. If two people have a disagreement over something, or disagree over something, there should be no reason, to call names, to make ad hominem attacks. There's no reason why we can't have a friendly discussion. I find a lot of atheists that I've spoken to, and cultists, they are so rude. So thank you, guys. Okay, Robin Dude. There is none that doeth good is a quote, I believe, that I made from the Bible. Yes, there we go. I made a slight tongue-in-cheek joke that the Bible does speak of atheists. When you ask an atheist, is there a God? And they say, no. Well, they've just proven the Bible to us, because the Bible says the fool in his heart has said there is no God. Okay, that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, okay? Am I calling you a fool? Foolish? Yes, foolish. But, I'm not being rude. It's just a bit of humour. Come on. Grow some skin. Grow a backbone. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after our God. Oh, that's in Romans. Why did Romans come up? Yeah, the fool in his head has said in his heart, there is no God. Yeah, there is none that doeth good, no, not one. Okay, so that's the Bible verse that Robin is talking about. And he, she, or it has replied to, so giving to charity, handing out food to the hungry, building ramps for the disabled, none of these are good things. I ask because atheist volunteer groups in Austin, or actually they've spelled it Austin, Texas, USA, do all of those things. If you are stating that there are none that do good, then by definition, those things are not good, and you shouldn't do them. Whose definition, Robin, of good are you using? Hitler thought that what he was doing was good. Stalin, Pol Pot, Lenin, the Khmer Rouge, they all did what they thought was good. Strangling somebody is a very good thing to do if you want to kill them. So, something that is good is very subjective. It's obviously not good for the stranglee. But the strangler, it is good. The strangler, it is good. What God is saying is that none of these things is good enough to get you into heaven. I know you guys don't believe in heaven, that's fine. You'll believe one day. So really, nothing wrong with doing those things. I would say, yes, that they are good things to do. Brilliant, keep it up. But why are you doing them? Who said that those things are good? Why are they good? Do you see where I'm coming from, at least? I don't want to have an argument on this, but do you see where I'm coming from? Why do something good if good and bad, right and wrong is subjective to the individual? Just a thought. Okay. My comment was, the atheist is just as entitled to his religion as you are to yours. I really don't know if you're a he or a she or a don't know. Sorry. I'll call you he. Okay, so if I've misgendered you, don't cry about it. Okay. I said the atheist is just as entitled to his religion as you are to yours. And Robin has replied, though of course lots of atheists aren't religious. Atheism itself is no more a religion than theism is. Good, yeah, thank you. Again, more of a sort of tongue-in-cheek comment. An atheist has to believe without evidence that there is no God. And since you can't really prove a negative, it is a religious belief. It's the same as my belief are that the insides of watermelons are blue until you cut the skin, or until the skin breaks, then it turns red. Prove I'm wrong. You can't. If you can think of a way, let me know. I haven't thought of a way to prove that. So yeah, many Christians have blind faith. They believe in God, but they don't know why. They don't. Yeah. So I know why I believe in God. I believe there are scientific evidences for the existence of God. That's for another video. Again, if you want to discuss those, comment. I love commenting. I love interacting. It's not a case of me trying to win. trying to win you. No. I want to hear why you believe what you believe. And I hope that you want to know what I believe and why I believe it. I don't hate you guys. No. Just because you have seen no evidence, does that mean no evidence exists? That's what I said. Just because you, ... have seen no evidence, does that mean no evidence exists? Oh, that's right, yeah. I said, just because you, Robin, have not seen any evidence for God, does that mean no evidence exists at all? And they've come back with, for what? But probing aliens, Bigfoot, abominable snowmen, pixies, fairies, goblins, Zeus. The point is that there may well be such things, but I, and most of us who bother to put the position clearly, implying that I haven't, have no good reason to think there is. Your God, small g, and all gods get tossed into the same not enough evidence pile. That's fine. It's off the top of my head that's valid. Like I said, Robin, I have evidence. I've got more evidence that God exists than you have that he doesn't. At the moment, you haven't given me any evidence that God does not exist. If you could give me maybe 3 evidences that you have that God does not exist, I'll go through them. Now, if you think there possibly could be a God, I just don't know. That's not atheism. That's agnosticism. From the Greek, I think from the Latin or Greek word gnosis, which means knowledge, ag meaning non, so you are without knowledge of it. So there could be, but who is it? Jehovah, Krishna, Zoroaster, Buddha, Confucius, Baha'u'llah. That's a good name, isn't it? So that's agnosticism. Okay, so my comment was, in order to know that there is no God, you would have to know everything and be everywhere. Robin's reply, let me increase the size of that, because I'm getting old and I need bright things to read. Oh, where is that? Sorry, guys. But I don't believe in rehearsing everything. It feels, I don't know, it just feels a bit, I don't know, fake. So I like to do things as they come. Okay. Robin's reply was, no, you wouldn't. You'll just have to know that one thing. And it can be in just one location. I think what you mean to say is that in order to be justified that there is no or insufficient evidence for a God existing, small g, you would have to be aware of all evidence. But even that isn't everything, since you'll just need to be aware of all evidence as it pertains to a God. Even then, you're not required to be everywhere. Yes, you are. What happens if God exists in Africa? He's chosen to live in a little hut out in Ooga Booga land, and chosen not to reveal himself to anyone. You would have to be there, see him. So no, I disagree. But that's fine. We can agree to disagree agreeably. Right. The next comment on for Robin is they don't want to, i.e., a Christian. No, a atheist cannot find God for the same reason a thief cannot find a policeman because they don't want to. When I say that, I mean, based on my personal experience and my opinion, from speaking to many atheists, the ones that I've spoken to, maybe they enjoy drinking or smoking or fornicating, and they know that the Bible is against those things, so they would rather just not believe in the Bible. Prime example here over in New Zealand is we have a program here called Bible in Schools. It's where people go and teach the Bible in the schools. It's completely voluntary. People do not have to attend. And it was written up in the paper that a child went home to his parents or her parents and said, the Bible says that you two should be married. And so these parents took a stand saying, oh no, the Bible must be banned from the school. It shouldn't be allowed. That's precisely what I mean when I say they don't want to. It has nothing to do with want, Robin says. I want only to believe as many true things as possible and as few false things as possible. I structure my epistemology accordingly. This then rejects gods. That's fair enough. I too want to only believe I am for truth and against error. Would you believe I'm a great fan of the late, the amazing James Randi, who went around busting psychics and faith healers and all this other nonsense. He had the right idea. Question everything. Don't take anything on faith. Okay. Maybe they've got a guilty conscience is another thing that I said in my video. And Robin replied, no, I'm not saying that I haven't done things I regret or that I am guilty of, but I recognize that some trans-dimensional wizard cannot just make it all right. If there is going to be any making it right, I have to do it. Okay, now we're getting a little bit offensive. Trans-dimensional wizard. That's fine if you see God as that. You'll answer to him for that. Well, you just said that I accuse you of having a guilty conscience. You said, no, I'm not saying that. I haven't done things I regret. Okay, or that you're guilty of. So, yes, you do have a conscience, and it is a guilty conscience. You might not want to use those words, my friend, but yeah, you do. You have to make it do. You have to do it, make it right. Who told you that? Where did you learn that from? If a trans-dimensional wizard said, you shall not do this, and you do it, only you and him, her or it, depending on the gender of this trans-dimensional wizard, can make it right. So, yeah. I then made a statement of one of the reasons why I believe in a God, and that was we're living on a plus kilometer diameter rock, hitting through space at a speed of 66,000 miles per hour, 150 million kilometers away from the 27 million degrees Fahrenheit inferno, and nobody's in charge. It's frightening. What is their response to that? 6,000 kilometer diameter rock. You mean radius? Is that the best you can do? Correct me on a word. Okay, fine. And nobody's in charge. Argument from incredulity, fallacy. That's a big word. I'm going to look it up because I'm dumb and stupid and white. But what did I type in KJV? Argument from incredulity, also known as argument from personal incredulity or appeal to common sense. It is common sense that there has to be somebody in charge. But there cannot not be anyone or anything in charge. Okay, it's mind-blowing how everything is just relatively perfect. Too much closer to the sun, we burn. Too further away, we freeze. If we spin too fast, whatever. Okay, now here we go. I also said in this video, who determines right from wrong and why? So, Robin Dude, you said largely biology. Biology isn't a... No, I don't get that. Biology is a study of... Anyway, but after that, the group. Oh, so the group of Nazis, the group of Khmer Rouge, and the Cultural Revolution, the Red Guards, they decided what's right or wrong. But here you are, Robin, with all your little atheist friends, saying, no, what they did was wrong. What they did was wrong. What we do is right. You can't say that. Your group says that X was wrong. X says, no, you're wrong. You see, there's no standard. Biology, if you can explain what you mean, yeah. Would biology include humans losing their tail, as you believe? Was it good? Was biology good that caused us to lose our tails? We never had any, but a tail would be very helpful. You could open your door while carrying your groceries. Okay, very handy. Look at how many people got killed, etc., and that's not really an issue. I don't remember saying that. So you wouldn't consider someone who ordered their army to attack another people and upon winning the battle to go through their town, slaughter all the civilians, the old, the weak, the woman, the children, except for the virgin girls, and then hand over said virgin girls to the soldiers that just got through slaughtering all these people. Not a problem to give that order. I don't see where you're coming from unless you assume that's what the Bible says and that God ordered yes, God ordered the killing of people in the Bible. He ordered the massacre. I just want to check up that word massacre before I use it. An indiscriminate and brutal slaughter. Okay, it wasn't indiscriminate. So no, I won't use the word massacre. He did order the mass killing of certain people. So no, I've got no problems with that. Since God created us, he can do what he likes. And again, you're trying to impose your moral views on God. So I think what I was saying about that's not really an issue, meaning to the conversation I was having is what I meant. Okay. I then said, well, I determine what's right and wrong. Straw man fallacy. Clearly, you haven't talked to many atheists. Yes, I have, and all of them, from memory, and I could be wrong. Oh, that sounds a bit right. There. Yes, I have, and from memory, most, if not all, of the ones I've spoken to, once we've gotten down to it, stripped away all the word games, yes, they determine what's right. You've just said that. Groups determine right from wrong. Are there people in those groups? Looks like I've got a little black book over there. No. Anyways, totally irrelevant. I don't think it's a straw man fallacy at all. You said biology first, but after that, the group. Oh, I didn't finish that that reply. You said largely biology, but after that, the group. As our species went from hunter-gatherer to village dwelling to civilizations to countries, what the group was tended to expand. Some things were kept at the core because not having those rules would destroy the ability of the group to work together. And why is that a good thing? So, do you see where I'm trying to get at? I'm not being picky. Well, I am. We're not getting to the core of it. If you doubt this, just look through history and even across the world today. Who said we went from hunter-gatherer to village dwelling to civilizations to countries? If you're talking about cavemen, well, no such thing as the Neanderthal. But again, individual people or groups of individual people decide right from wrong. So what I'm saying, Robin, is that it's entirely subjective and mostly based on human, personal experiences. I think this is wrong because this didn't feel right, so that's, sorry, Robin, I don't buy it. Well, I determine what's right and wrong. That's what I said. Straw man fallacy. Yeah, no, it's not. Right. Another thing I said in my video was, if we or society determines right or wrong, we cannot condemn. And then I gave a list of nasty people. But hang on. You said nasty people. Nasty according to who? Who determines nasty? Sure we can. As I said, as our group has grown, so has who is under that banner. Exactly what the Nazis did. Our group is superior to the black group. Therefore, we, the superior white race, are going to kill the inferior Jewish race. Do you not see the similarities? It's very, very apt. Before it used to be the tribe, then the city, then the country. A country cannot decide what's right or wrong. A country is dirt, is grass. It's the people in that country. So again, it boils down to people. We need things to be mostly peaceful. to get along so we can all do better. I totally agree. Why, though? Okay, there's no measuring stick. I said there's no measuring stick between right and wrong. We care about what happens to ourselves. The more we learn about what makes it more likely that we will do well, the more we discover that we need others, as we do not survive well on our own. We lack the tools and skills to do it. As such, our survival and thriving, why would you want to survive and thrive? Depends on those around us. So in order to secure our own survival, we must ensure theirs as well. Very good point, Robin. Thank you. Again, that's not a measuring stick. We do not survive well on our own. I think there are many hermits out there that do survive on their own quite well. But we were not created by God, in the image of God, to be alone. Hence why he put Adam to sleep and said, when you wake up, I'm going to have a surprise for you. And he took a rib and made the world's first loudspeaker. Oh, sorry, woman. Sorry, that's a joke. Come on. There's a lot of scientific evidence for the existence of God. Robin, you said literally impossible, as science by definition cannot test the supernatural. So you have made up your decision. There is no scientific evidence for the existence of God. Okay, you're just wrong there. But again, we can agree to disagree agreeably. If you believe there may be a God, you're not an atheist or an agnostic. Label issues, you say. Most who label themselves as atheists mean they do not accept that a God exists. Well, that's your definition, Robin, which is not the same as asserting there is no God. I think it is. And moreover, it's just doing the best we can with what we have. The rational position is not to be Gnostic, claiming to know about things like gods, fairies, vampires, secret societies, etc. Again, you're sort of being very, what's the word, passive-aggressive here by putting God in the same thing as fairies, vampires, secret societies. Okay, so anyway, that's my answer to your comments to my video, Robin Dude. Thank you for... Oh, brilliant. You've got a few videos on your channel. Cosmological argument for the non-existence of God. I've actually got the cosmological argument for a God. So you're obviously a professional God hater. I will look forward to discussing things with you. If we can just deal with one thing at a time, then we're not going through this whole list. That would be good. So thank you, Robin. El Juro. You replied to my comments. You said extremely few people labelled as atheists say there is no God. Well, those who do not say that are not atheists, they're agnostics. Most people labelled as atheists throughout history have said, I don't believe the God you or anyone else describe exists. Well, then that would prove there is no God. It's the same thing. El Juro, I don't believe... Oh no, I've just read that part. Sorry, I'm getting old. And then that person was labelled as an atheist. Remember that the early Christians were labelled as atheists in Rome. If you can document that, that would be interesting, and I would look that up. The Bible calling those who do not believe in the Bible fools is about as unconvincing as LDSs using the Book of Mormon to prove LDS. The Bible does not say those who do not believe the Bible are fools. Where did I say that? Where does the Bible say that? Yes, I know. I've got holy holy clothes because I'm poor and I can't afford any decent clothes. The Bible does not attempt to prove the existence of God. So the Bible says those who do not believe in God are fools. So you said the Bible calling those who do not believe in the Bible fools is about as unconvincing as, yeah, LDS people do use the Book of Mormon to prove Joseph Smith, and they use Joseph Smith to prove the Book of Mormon, and I totally agree. There is none that do good is also verifiably false unless you have a very weird definition of good. Who determines good and bad and why? In the eyes of God, obviously his definition of good is different from ours. So let's say there is an afterlife and you do have to do certain things to get it. Let's just assume that for a moment. If I feed you for a day, is that good? No. To me, it's not. If I tell you how to live forever when you die, let's assuming that you can, is that good? Yes. I can satisfy you for a day, for a year, for 10 years. And then what? You die and go to hell. Or you die and you're worm food. Do you see where I'm coming from, my friend? Atheism isn't a religion any more than theism is a religion. Many atheists are religious, but even those who are religious belong to many different religions. Could you quantify that statement? I said that, you can read what I said regarding Robin. I do believe atheism is a religion, because they have to believe that there is no God, or that a God could possibly never exist, based on very flimsy evidence. So, okay, what's your name again? Oh, Juro. Replied, as I said, atheists in general don't say that they know that there is no deity. They just say that they don't believe that the God you or anyone else describes exists. So any God exists. So you know there is. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to process what you're saying, and I'm trying to verbalize it. So saying that I don't believe that a God of anyone's description exists is not the same as saying there's no God. I think it's the same. I think you're saying the same thing, my friend. Right or wrong are just words we use to describe events and actions that cause certain experiences. Very good reply. Very good definition. Thank you. I actually like that. Wrong is that which most people. Also, now it's my majority votes. Majority of Germany thought it was okay to kill Jews and to torture them and to. So I guess that was good. Pol Pot thought it was, and his cronies thought it was good to murder half or a quarter of the entire population of their country. So I guess that was good, because it was a majority. Wrong is that which most people would not want to happen to themselves or their loved ones. Yeah, I would say that's a very good definition as well, thank you. We needed a word for that, and wrong became the word. If you look at how wrong is used in other contexts, it's usually referring to something unwanted or causing an unwanted result. Again, my friend, drowning someone is the wrong way of killing someone instantly. Okay, shooting a person in the head is a good and great and fantastic way to kill them instantly. Do you at least get where I'm coming from? Okay, so that was Il Juro's comment. So thank you guys. Thank you, you two. I'm just going to put the link to the video that I'm replying to up there. There we go. So thank you. Now, Rebel Beast. Oh, actually, let's have a look at Il Juro's channel. Il Juro. Oh, you're a Judokai. Thank you. Good on you. I did karate and jiu-jitsu. So I appreciate that. Good on you. Okay, Rebel Beast. What's a Rebel? You've got 3 subscribers, no content. Okay, that's fine. Okay. You said, Mr. Rebel Beast. Hello, I hope you don't mind if I react to the content of this video. Of course I don't, my friend. That's why I do them. Now, I don't mean this either insulting or disrespectful, but to me personally, most of your mentioned arguments seem quite weak to me. Please allow me to explain. Rebel Beast, unless you attack me personally, my friend, like a Mormon has done recently regarding my appearance. Yes, I'm fat, old, ugly, I got very bad teeth, get over it, address what I say. So unless you attack me personally, that's fine, you can attack my beliefs all you want, you're fully entitled to do so. And if I'm wrong on anything, I want to know. I have questioned the existence of God often. I still do sometimes. So I don't think I'm closed-minded. First of all, thank you, my friend, for being respectful. I love interacting and proving that you guys are wrong. I'm joking, guys. You begin by mentioning how the Bible sees unbelievers as fools. And this is something I hear quite often, whether it is by Romans 1:22 or Psalm 14:1. Great that you're reading the Bible, or at least know the references. To me, this is the biblical equivalent of the preschool playground argument. If you don't agree with me, then you are dumb and seems quite arrogant and condescending. Oh, I think God is entitled to be arrogant if he wants. He created everything in 6 literal days, 7,000 years ago or so. So, condescending? No, I don't see it really. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, okay. I don't know how else to reply to that. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind being called a fool or dumb or wrong. Okay, you're a fool, you're dumb, and you're wrong. is a God. No, just joking. So you also said I've been wrong about things before. I have made mistakes, and it's quite possible that my position is wrong. Me too. I've been wrong on so many things. I can't think of any offhand, but I'm not being arrogant or honest. So yeah, okay. But what these verses do is label me a fool because I have a different view. Different view or refuse to believe that there is a God, despite the overwhelming evidence to the contrary. I think if you're facing a big building and you say there's no building there, you're a fool. I think God is saying, look, I've given you so much evidence, creation itself for a start, and yet you still don't believe in me, you fool. That's how I see it. And sadly, to me, it seems that this mentality stands in the way of open, constructive conversation. Rebel Beast, I've got a feeling you're Dutch or German. I've got a very good friend in the church who's Dutch. But yeah, that's why that's irrelevant. I disagree. I do think you're a fool for not believing in God, but I don't mean that in a rude or condescending way. And we are having a constructive, open discussion. So, yeah, no, I think that argument is moot. You go on to say, because why listen to me if my reasons if you have already decided that I'm a fool? Okay, maybe your view is foolish rather than you are a fool. I would have to look up the Greek or Hebrew word for fool and see if it's been. So rather, instead of calling me a fool for having this position, I have explained to me why it is foolish to have that position, and please listen to me why I think it isn't. Okay. Okay. Oh, forget your name. Rebel Beast. Here's why I think your belief that there is no God is foolish. One, I consider that there is a lot of evidence for the existence of God. One, the events in the Bible have been proven to have happened. Nothing in the Bible has ever been proven wrong, to my knowledge. They have found the remains of Noah's Ark. There is a story of somebody being eaten by a whale, being swallowed by a whale and surviving. We find chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea. We find fossils. We find fossilized clams in a closed position on top of Mount Everest. This and other things prove a worldwide global flood. The Chinese language proves Jesus' story. Creation itself, symbiotic relationships, etc. The termite cannot digest cellulose. So what do they eat? Wood. They have little mites in their gut that process the cellulose. They process the wood. The termite cannot live outside of the termite cannot live without the mites, and the mites cannot live without the termites. Which evolved first and why? why did we, or any animal, develop sexual reproduction? Why would we want to propagate species when it's just more males? Overpopulation, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so those are just 5 things off the top of my head. They might not be very good points. They could be pathetic points, but they're just 5 that come to mind. Now, your next point, you said, I both agree and disagree. But it depends on what kind of atheists you're talking. If you're talking about Gnostic atheists, that makes the positive an absolute claim that there is no God. So that's not. No, Karen, sorry. That there is no God, then I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, I mean, in order for someone to say there is absolutely no God, you'd have to know everything. You'd have to be everywhere. You'd have to know everything. You can say, as far as I have found, there is no God. But of course, outside of your area of knowledge, there could be. I definitely don't know. No, sorry, scrub that. It's a chloride. What I was going to say was chloride. To me, that is the most undefendable position you can have. You know, that there was absolutely no God. As an atheist myself, I rather side with any theist than with a positive atheist. Good, we'll get you converted yet. Because when you make a positive claim, the burden of proof falls to you. And in this case, it is absolutely impossible to prove the non-existence of God. You're absolutely right. You cannot prove a negative. Like I said in my earlier, at the start of the video, my belief is that it is absolutely certain that the insides of a watermelon are blue until the skin is broken. Now you prove that I'm wrong. You can't do it. Mind you, I can't prove. No, that's something that I can't prove. Sorry. Yeah, I can't prove that. But you also cannot disprove it. So yes, the burden of proof is on the person making the statement. Mind you, you are making a positive statement that there is no God. So, you know, we can go around in circles there, my friend. But in my experience, you say, by far most atheists I know of, including myself, are agnostic atheists. So you're agnostics. Meaning, we believe there is no God, but we do not know this for sure. So there could be. In my own case, I find it very unlikely a God actually exists, as I have seen or heard no, for me, convincing evidence or argument to convince me otherwise. So my belief is based on a lack of convincing. Brilliant. Good on you. It sounds like you, my friend, are open to hear the other side. You are open to the possibility there could be. Most people, most atheists that I've come across, they just will not be convinced. This makes the demand to prove my position pointless. Well, that's true, because your position is there may be a God, but I just haven't found the evidence or seen the evidence to support that. It's fine. Since the absence of evidence is the reason I have that position, I see most Christians don't believe in a great number of mythical or fictional creatures, but you would have to prove that they are mythological or fictional, but also cannot absolutely prove that they don't exist either. True. I cannot prove that unicorns do not exist. So their position towards these mythological creatures is the same as the attitude of agnostic atheists towards the... Yep, I totally agree with your definition of agnostics, although I wouldn't call them agnostic atheists. my definition, which is the only one that matters, is is that atheists definitely do not believe there is any God. Agnostics say there could be a God, but as far as what I've seen no evidence for it. Your variant of the atheists just don't want to be held accountable seems very flawed and illogical to me too, for several reasons. First off, believing or disbelieving something has no bearing on reality and therefore has no effect on consequences. Yes, I true. Yes, I true. Oh, come on. Yes, I agree. You should not. Something is not true because you believe it. You should believe something if it is true. If I would stand on a train track, speeding train approaching me convincing myself there isn't a train, sort of like convincing yourself there's not a God, doesn't prevent me from being hit by it or prevent you from going somewhere you don't want to go. So why would we do the same with God either? At least you capitalize the word God. The other people haven't. So thank you for your respect, my friend. Either I believe he is real. No, you haven't capitalized the H. Either he is real or believe he is not. But believing he is real, you convince myself it isn't because I don't want the consequence. It doesn't make any. So I can assure you that atheists generally really believe there is no God. Yeah, so okay, I would yeah. I don't know how to reply to that. I see your point, and in a way that they're extremely valid. So thank you. What's your name again? Rebel Beast. Another flaw in this argument is, well, I gave earlier an argument as to why people don't want to believe there is a God because of consequences. If you've never seen a jail but know they exist, would you still want to believe? Yeah, do you see where I'm trying to get to? Okay, another flaw in this argument is that the behavior or actions themselves isn't what you are punished for. Just believing in God is. No. Disbelieving in God. You are punished, i.e. you go to hell, not for sinning, but for rejecting Jesus and what he did for you. Yeah, I could be the most horrible person on earth. If I repent and accept God, I would be saved. Absolutely, if you realise that you are a horrible person, you're sorry for what you've done, and you realise that Jesus came to pay that price, absolutely. And the other way round is that I could be an absolute saint if I don't believe and accept Christ, I will burn forever in eternity. So actions do not matter. Oh, actions do matter. A belief in something is an action that you choose to do or you choose not to do. To use your own analogy, being a thief isn't what the police punishes you for. Denying the existence of the police is. So why would we do that? Also, your analogy seems more targeted at anti-theist people that do believe in God but hate him or have turned away from him. Yeah, probably. I have met a number of atheists who something has happened in their childhood, maybe in the Catholic Church, which is not Christian by any stretch of the imagination, or have had a loved one die and they blame God for it, so therefore God doesn't exist. To me, the two most heated arguments for the existence of God, for the existence of God are these. One, argument from chance. the chance of everything turning out the way it is, for us to be here is so extremely low. There had to be an intelligent designer behind it. I totally agree. Argument of attunement. The universe, physics, and nature are so finely tuned and in balance, there has to be an intelligent designer behind it. Is that also part of A? I totally agree. But personally, I find both these arguments unconvincing, as I have my reasons why. Mostly, I find the naturalistic explanation more likely, and I would be happy to discuss them. But seeing the fact that this would become an entire discussion on its own, I'll say that for another time, as this comment is already quite long. Yeah, I'm happy to discuss anything with you. If we can keep to one topic or one subject per comment, rather than bringing up a whole lot of points, it would be good. I'm happy to discuss it. Yeah, let's go for it, my friend. The argument of morality is another example of where I find the naturalistic secular explanation much more plausible and fitting reality much better than the theist one. Basically, everybody determines for themselves what they find right or wrong. This is what we see in reality, but it is a lot more complicated than that. I don't think it is. But this is yet another topic I would love to discuss in length. But to prevent this comment from turning into a book that needs a publisher. Oh, I know some people can they don't write comments, they write novels. I would yet again leave that for another discussion. Yeah, we can, I would like to discuss things more with you. You mentioned that there is scientific evidence that God exists. I have been researching theistic arguments quite thoroughly for about 50 years now. Always trying to be as neutral, open-minded, and unbiased as I can be. We are all biased, my friend, in one way or another. It's very difficult, isn't it, to try and look at things from a neutral point of view. I'm biased towards the existence of God. You are biased towards the non-existence of God. But yeah, we should be open and don't just read a couple of words and just no, that's not true. Read that, study the whole thing. But as far as I've seen or heard, anything that would convince me it is indeed more likely God would not. But so far I have seen or heard anything. I think you mean. But so far I have not seen or heard anything that would convince me it is indeed more likely that God would exist, and I have a great number of evidence and observations that seem to make it very unlikely. Oh, you can put a B there. So I'm honestly very curious as to what scientific evidence you are referring to. I think I'll do another video on that because this is getting into an hour. Or should I just put them in the comments? I don't know yet. But if I forget, and I do forget, don't think I'm running away or that I'm scared that you've won and I've lost. That's not the case with that. Remind me. Again, this comment is purely meant to show you my own view on the topics you've mentioned, and there's no way meant disrespectful to either you or your beliefs. I just give different views for different reasons. In any case, have a nice day. Rebel Beast, you have made my day. You have been polite, you have been respectful. You have not made a perfect comment. Perfect. I think you and I would get along very well in real life. And I think you and I would be friends in real life. That's a scary thought. Let's discuss this more. I prefer doing things this way. I'll put up a video, you can make a comment. Like I said, I talk more than I type. I prefer responding to these off the cuff, if you know what that term means. Not researching everything beforehand and presenting that just off the top of my head. So yeah, I'm not American, so I do not get offended easily. I don't need to run away to my safe space. Leave me alone. So no, I've got pretty thick skin. So I'm actually going to give you a thumbs up for that, and I'm going to write a 5. Thank you, my friend. I just doing a review right now. Oh, and you've had one reply. What was that? Oh, that was you. Peter, sorry for the extremely lengthy comment. I can get long-winded. Look at my chest. It's extremely big. I get long-winded as well. And that's something I need to work on. We should be able to be short and to the point. So thank you, my friends, for replying to my comment. To my video. Feel free to, comment about anything except my appearance and Ohomim attacks. I still stand by my statement that there is a God. The Bible is true. And I look forward to having a discussion with you guys who believe that I am wrong. So thank you, guys. I am going to say God bless you. Please don't take that as a offensive thing. So thank you for everything. Thank you for your replies. I love them. Thank you for watching this poor, sad old man from New Zealand sharing what he believes and why he believes it. So thank you. Have a great day and do good to someone.